Welcome to Full Circle. I'm Suzanne McAllister. Thanks for joining us today. Well, Citizens Energy Group has been known for its legacy of excellence for over 128 years. On today's program, we have the special opportunity of meeting the new president of Citizens, Jeff Harrison. He'll join us later on the program. But to start off our discussion, I am so pleased to be able to welcome the outgoing president and CEO of Citizens Energy Group, Kerry Lykins. It's a pleasure to have you here again.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be with you again.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be very close to your retirement?
Well, it's very exciting. It really is. It's very liberating, very freeing. I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, you have been an employee of Citizens Energy Group for 42 years. You worked before that even, so you've chalked up more years. Let's talk about your stellar career path and how it took you from humble beginnings to the CEO's office.
Well, honestly, a lot of it's being at the right place at the right time, to be perfectly frank about it. You know, I'm very fortunate to have this opportunity. It's a great opportunity, a great chance to contribute to the community, to the company and its employees as well. So just kept at it steadily for over 40 years and managed to hit the brass ring.
Absolutely. So talk about some of those earlier positions that you feel that you were able to develop skills and insights so that when you look back on those years, it was able to help you as the leader. Yeah.
Well, you know, I actually worked for the company part-time for 4 years while I went to IUPUI before I began my full-time career. And that was perhaps the most formative of the years. I started out carrying a shovel, digging ditches for a pipe fitter. And so I worked with our union guys and underground maintenance, and you really learn a lot about the inner workings of a company and its culture that way. And then I spent a couple of years as a customer service representative in the call center, taking customer calls. Terrific way to get to know the company and our customers as well.
Absolutely. Well, you talk about the culture of your company, and certainly over the years I've met many people from Citizens Energy Group, and the culture is just upbeat and people really working as citizens for Citizens Energy Group. Let's talk about some of your achievements during your time.
Well, we're a very team-based culture, which I've really tried to foster, and we try to put people in a position where they've got the resources to be successful, and I think that makes people give you their best. We've worked really hard during the last 10 years of my tenure at advancing diversity and inclusion. I think we've done an excellent job, made a lot of progress. I also believe that Jeff Harrison will take that to the next level.
So you also gave back to the community. There were so many community organizations, volunteer days, and that again is really connecting to the citizen.
Yeah, a part of our ethic at Citizens Energy Group is volunteerism, is giving back to the community. We try to foster a culture in which those of us that have been so fortunate to be successful recognize their obligation, really a moral obligation, to give back to the community and give back to the citizens of Central Indiana.
Absolutely, and you also oversaw some mergers and acquisitions during your time and helping the environment and the water. Talk about some of the $1 billion worth of investments in our infrastructure and how that has impacted our community.
Well, no doubt the most impactful event during my tenure as CEO has been our acquisition of the city's water utility and wastewater sewer utility as well. That happened about 4 years ago and was a very big event. Gives us a tremendous opportunity to serve the city. Since we've acquired those two utilities, we have, as you suggest, spent something over $1 billion in improvements and have something more than another $1 billion to go.
So now that you are the outgoing president and CEO of Citizens Energy Group, as you look back, what are you hoping that people will remember most about Kerry Lykins?
Well, I don't know. I shouldn't think they'd have to remember much of anything. I suppose if I was remembered for anything, I'd want it to be the diversity and inclusion achievements we've made. I suspect that my so-called legacy will be described by the acquisition of the water utility, but I'm really rather more proud of what we've done in the way of inclusion.
And I'd also like to add your humility to that as well. I've been talking with Kerry Lykins. He's the outgoing president and CEO of Citizens Energy Group. He'll come back, but first we'll take this break and we will meet the new president, Jeff Harrison. Stay with us. Welcome back to Full Circle. We're continuing to talk about the legacy of excellence that we have grown to know and appreciate from Citizens Energy Group. Well, I'm sure this next guest will carry on that tradition of excellence. It's my pleasure to welcome Jeff Harrison to the program. He is the new president and CEO of Citizens Energy Group. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So as you think about this new position in your life, are you getting a lot of advice from people, and how are you feeling in sort of taking on this new part of your life?
You know, it's very exciting time for me and family. And there's a little bit of advice coming from all directions, including from Carey and others. I think most folks have been very welcoming and supportive of the move.
So give me a sense of your background, certainly to rise to the corner of the CEO and president. Your background is amazing. So tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. So originally from Jeffersonville, Indiana, grew up the son of a bricklayer, and then went to Rolls-Holman Institute of Technology, which is an engineering school where I got an electrical engineering degree. And then my first job out of college was with Indianapolis Power and Light. So I worked for another utility. And then after working there for a while, moved to Citizens Energy Group, and then was able to move up through the ranks there to eventually to the position now of CEO.
So it wasn't just a matter of saying, well, we like your resume. You actually have to go through a rather rigorous process before you were offered that position. Tell us about that.
That's correct. So there are a number of processes involved. Some of the ones that I can recall, it included an online survey, some 350 questions.
Wow.
We also were interviewed by an international executive consultant, and they take you back to your childhood and ask questions bringing you up to today. And then it also included a PowerPoint presentation, an essay, and then a behavioral interview by our 9-member board of directors. So
wow.
Very intensive process, but very fruitful.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you mentioned the interview process went back to your childhood. You mentioned that your father was a bricklayer.
Yes.
So for a child that might be watching that says, you know, I am the son of a very proud bricklayer, but I don't know if I can make it, you know, up the ladder so far. Do you have some words of wisdom in terms of how that is a possibility in life?
Sure. You know, again, I think every young child wants to stand in the shadow of their father and follow in those footsteps. And again, there's certainly nothing wrong, nothing wrong with that. But you know, I had an opportunity. There are moments in your life that can change your life, and so I had an opportunity to interact with a computer when I was young. And the computer asked me a number of questions, and I was able to answer those questions on the computer. And then it told a story with the answers that I gave. So I found that very intriguing, and then used that as really the launching platform for me to become an engineer. And then all along, I think my career, there's always been someone there to kind of help and guide you as well. So that's been something. Take that advice as you move forward and look for those opportunities.
Good advice. Certainly those mentors make a real big difference. We talked about the computer and how it changed your life. Certainly as you look at Citizens Energy Group, a major utility with the combination of water and natural gas. What do you see in the future? What are your visions for where Citizens will be going?
Sure. So with the water and wastewater, really one of our focal points will be around sustainability.
Sure.
We're the largest water utility and wastewater utility in the state of Indiana. So we'll have a focus there, looking at conservation, again, focusing on the environment. So that'll be one focal area, one focal point. And then as well, being a customer-first organization, so really focusing in on customer service. We've done some great things in terms of our customer service with some online web enhancements and our call center, our walk-in center as well. So really those will be focal points as we move forward in time for Citizens Energy Group.
Sure, and one of the things that we heard earlier with Kerry Lykins, the importance that Citizens Energy Group places on volunteerism. I noticed that you're involved in a lot of boards and community activities. How will that take shape during your presidency?
You know, I think it'll continue. I'm actually out and have been out for some time now in the community. Carey really set the bar high and is a great leader in that effort in terms of communicating with the community, helping them understand who we are, what we do, and then also giving back. As Carey talked about, our culture is a team-based culture, and so we promote with our employees this idea of giving back to the community. That's really our core.
Well, it's a tremendous core. It has been a successful way to operate over the years. Now, please stay with us. We are going to take a short break, but when we come back, we will have the outgoing and the new president talk with each other about their respective roles. Stay with us. Welcome back to Full Circle. We have the unique opportunity of having two presidents here on our set today. We have the new CEO and President Jeff Harrison of Citizens Energy Group and the outgoing president, Kerry Lykins, just retiring from a 42-year career at Citizens Energy Group. Gentlemen, I'm glad that we could have an opportunity to bring you both here onto the set. So Kerry, Jeff was telling us about the rigorous process that he had to go through in terms of becoming the president and all the different tests and things. You were a part of that process. What qualities did you see in Jeff that you knew that he would be a good CEO?
Well, among the most prominent probably was his approach to people. He's always been very focused on our employees and their care and feeding, so to speak, communicating with them. It's really one of his greatest strengths that I've seen up close for several years now.
So I would suspect that you'll keep the dialogue going, or is there a point when, Jeff, you're just ready to take that office? And how is that transition period, in other words?
I think it's going well, and I've already told Carey that even after he leaves, I'll still give him a call. It's a process, and I'll continue to learn and grow. And Carey has, again, a lot of experience in this position, and so his advice and guidance and counsel is still very valuable.
So how has he influenced you?
I've watched Carey a lot, and I tell you, one of the things I loved about him was his approach actually to people. Carey actually takes input from others well, and so when making a big decision, one of the things I liked was being able to sit at the table along with others and being able to provide input into that decision-making process. And that is something, again, that I'll carry forward as I become the new president and CEO.
And as a customer of Citizens, I think it's comforting for all of customers to know that there is that transition period, there is that thoughtful process that goes in place, because when it comes down to it, we want to make sure that we have clean water and that our houses are warm. So, there is this whole corporate culture that is important, but again, it's always, and what I hear from you is the customer is number one. So what advice do you have for Jeff? Obviously, you've been grooming him for this position for a number of years.
It's been a while, hasn't it, Jeff? I think he's ready to go, no question about it. He's set and ready to go. I have tried to offer lots of advice. He made reference to decision making. Always listen to your experts. Try not to make a decision yourself if you don't have to. Let the team reach consensus if you can. Make your thinking visible to others is one of the biggest pieces of advice I might offer to you. Communication is so difficult but so critical. And I've often said that 90% of your employees will happily follow you anywhere. If you'll communicate your vision to them, explain to them what you're doing and why you're doing it, they'll follow you anywhere.
Wow, that's good advice for life and for in general. What special challenges do you see, though, in the industry? You are an engineer, Jeff. Certainly, things get more difficult as more people have demands on your product.
Yeah, one of our major challenges, I'd say, is just cost, and so our rate structure. So Citizens, we're spending a lot of time now focusing on cost control and cost reduction, and also looking at improving our business from an efficiency standpoint. So one of the things I want our customers to know and understand is that we're spending a lot of time and energy on focusing on energy efficiency, cost control, reducing our costs, again, to make sure that our rates are appropriate for our customers.
So as you look at the industry, Carey, you've been in the industry for 42 years. What special challenges do you see, whether or not you're in Indianapolis or Santa Fe or Los Angeles? Certainly with the drought that we've seen in California, we're always looking at, are we ready? Is the state of Indiana ready for a crisis like that?
Well, I think in terms of water supply, we're in very good shape. Doesn't mean that we don't worry about it. Doesn't mean we don't work on making it better. But we're in good shape. But fundamentally, what we sell is reliability. Whether you're turning up your thermostat or turning on a faucet or flushing a toilet, we sell reliability. So we're taking as much as a 100-year look at water supply in Central Indiana to be sure that we can meet the customers' expectations in terms of supply and reliability.
Sure, and having that communication and that process going. Speaking of communication, certainly it will be important for you to communicate with other leaders in your industry. What does that look like to you in terms of how that will make you a success in your role?
Well, I think, again, looking at others in terms of, even within the city, in terms of communication, making sure that they understand where we're coming from and some of our challenges in the political realm, understanding that those folks understand how we operate and what we're trying to do with respect to the city and trying to make this a great city for the state of Indiana. So those are important elements in terms of communication.
So the fact that you are a trust, does that put a special layer of corporate challenge, or is that an advantage on a go-forward basis, Carey?
Well, I think it is a strong advantage, but it does affect the way that we try to manage the enterprise. We literally get up every day, Jeff will too, you get up every day thinking about the beneficiaries of the trust and how we might meet the mission and vision of the trust and how we might provide value to the beneficiaries of the trust. So the people of Indianapolis are really the beneficiaries of the trust, and that's why we're so focused on the quality of life and the affordability of life in our community.
Sure, and that's something we all love about living where we do. So, some presidents of the country or other organizations will go in and they'll have a 30-day plan or a 60-day plan or, just getting through the first week plan. As you look at that transition period, what are some things that you've put in place that you hope to accomplish in the near term with your goals?
It's really around that communication ethic again. So, getting out even now, meeting with city county councilors, meeting with mayoral candidates, again, helping them understand who we are, and then also meeting with the community at large itself. So I've been to some meetings with the concerned clergy and other grassroots organizations to help them, again, understand who Citizens is, what we're about, what we're doing for them, for the city, and about how we go about doing things. Carey mentioned the Public Charitable Trust, and so that's a message that I want to make sure that we get out.
Because certainly in part of your legacy is it really enhancing some of those programs that are available to individuals that may not have the funds to have these critical resources in their home. I would suspect that will be an important aspect of that reach, that outreach.
It is.
Well, congratulations to both of you in your role. I feel really so privileged to have you both here on Full Circle. I would like to congratulate both of you on your new phases in your life. Jeff Harrison is the new president and CEO of Citizens Energy Group, and Kerry Lykins is the outgoing president and CEO. Good luck with both of your endeavors as you move forward.
Thank you very much.
Well, we are back with our music segment and Time for Three after this. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Musical Showcase is coming up next. And now, here's our Musical Showcase.
Welcome back. Well, it's this portion of the program that I always enjoy introducing our musical guests. Today we have the classically trained Time for Three. They're performing Little Lion Man. Here's Time for Three, and I'm Suzanne McAllister. I'll see you next time. Full Circle.